Okay, welcome back. I'm Jenica. We are here with our Utah International Filmmakers Film Festival, and we are talking to some great filmmakers. Our next guest is Robin.
Thank you.
Robin, welcome. We are here to talk about your film called Nowhere to Go.
Correct. I worked with Julie Cordell Simmons,
Uh-huh.
who direct and wrote it, but I was a technical resource
Okay.
to make sure that it presented the reality of what Nowhere to Go is all about.
Yeah, I would love to hear more about that piece of it, how you came in with that perspective and how that helped inform the film creation.
Well, what happened, I didn't know it was being produced. I'd been engaged with the homeless community and actually all over the country for 7 or 8 years, but she called me or emailed me or something to me and asked if I had images, and she knew that I did, to be used and edited in to her story that she was going to tell. And I had no idea that Nowhere to Go was even in the production process.
Okay.
But she plugged me in immediately and told me what was happening and why she was doing it, which I found to be fabulous because it's a message, it's a situation that people, not just in Salt Lake City or Provo or Ogden, but all over the country and parts of the world, have no understanding of what's going on out there, really going on in the streets.
Yeah, and to back up just a little bit for those who are watching who haven't had exposure to the film focuses on unhoused people, the transient population, people who are living on the streets essentially. Is that, and can you tell us a little bit more about how the film portrays this community and the world around what the film is hoping to do for the community?
You know, that's a great question because the film is produced with actors, with technical and creative personnel, and intertwined in there are images of what's referred to in the homeless world as abatements, where they come in, police, city, who knows, and they just scrape them away. That's the best way to describe it. The reality is, they're living in tents, they're living, on the street, they're living in sleeping bags. And when this activity happens everywhere, but as you'll see in the book, but also elsewhere, they're shunned, they're sent on their way, and they have literally nowhere to go. And it's hard to fathom. But in the doc, in the film that Julie did, she developed a storyline that I was fascinated with about how spot on it was, and then you mix that with images showing the reality of what's happening. I mean, remember, and I've said this again and again and again, these are human beings. They're people like you and me, everybody. But they're treated metaphorically like junk. And I've seen firsthand. I have images of abatements that have taken place in Seattle, in Salt Lake City, in Portland, in Chicago, where there's no respect, there's no concern, there's no caring, and it can be in the middle of winter. Or it can be, in the middle of a hot summer, but they're just shunned along and told to go somewhere. The cops will be there, people will be there. And you hear it again and again and again. Where the hell are we supposed to go?
Yeah.
Where do we go?
Absolutely. And I think you touch on a few really amazing points here about, first of all, our perspective of homelessness or people who don't have a place to go, and kind of this idea that we want to know that exists as a large culture, right? We understand that it's a problem, that it exists, but we don't want to hear or see it in our reality.
Right.
And so bringing a film and bringing real human beings into the forefront and saying, these are people, humanizing and rehumanizing people to one another. It was such a beautiful thing to be doing. And I would say, too, it reminds me a little bit of like Ava DuVernay, right? Bringing that full-scale picture and the tilt of perspective, right? Let's tilt our perspective away from what we know as people who don't experience transient lifestyles or haven't fallen into a place where we don't have anywhere to go.
Right.
And then shifting it, but taking our understanding of humanity and shifting it to give us more perspective on people's lives.
So many people are simply wrong in their observation, in their commentary. They're all drug addicts. They're all this.
Oh, absolutely.
And if over the course of 7 years, as I said, in Salt Lake City, in depth, a little bit about it in Provo, but around the country, I've gotten to know so many. Many are friends. And for whatever reason, they're on the street. Last night, for example, the organization Unshelter Utah has been staging overnight accommodations in this freezing weather. As they put the word out, they have a network now, and at 8 o'clock, when the time came to open the doors for warmth, for a night, a place to sleep, for a meal, there's like 110 lined up.
Wow.
And I've tried to make the point that the respect that they have for each other and for the people that are stepping up to help, to provide support, to provide warmth is incredible.
That's really inspiring.
It's so gratifying. And with everybody, and I have images, as you can imagine, but with everybody moved into this parish hall at St. Mark's Church in Salt Lake City, there's 100 people on yoga mats, people very graciously lining up for food, helping each other, and it's beyond the understanding of most people. Of understanding that these people are human beings interacting with each other.
And I think a lot of people, do inherently develop narratives around people who aren't housed. And you were right? Oh, they're drug addicts, they're criminals. But this is, if you weren't sheltered, if you didn't have resources right available to you, you would look for safety and community and shelter and food and ways to take care of yourself and the people in your life. And something that I've seen in my work as a mental health professional, working with different populations as well, is seeing how people take care of one another in hard times.
Oh, you love it.
And to see, again, these group of people, like you just mentioned, how beautiful it is, again, to be reminded that people are people. And people want to build community, people want to be safe, and people want to be able to take care of themselves and each other in a way, even for basic needs, especially for basic needs.
And to be respected. And to walk through the door, they're freezing. Last night when the door opened at 8 o'clock, it was 21 degrees. These people have been out all day. They're wrapped in blankets. They're wrapped here. They're wrapped there. To come in and to say something nice to them. Welcome, we're glad you're here. Please take every opportunity to, get yourself together. And you'll find that not the majority, but many will come in, they're so cold, they're so famished. They'll have a bite to eat, or some of them even bring food. But all they want to do is lay down on that yoga mat. Blankets and pillows are provided by Unshelter Utah. They lay down, and within 5 or 10 minutes, they're sound asleep, just to be off the street.
Yeah.
It brings tears to your eyes. I've got to tell you that humanity can treat humanity like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, unlike yourself, a mental health professional, but I know what the word kindness.
And we are human. Like, as humans, we understand humanity in each other, and our ability to reach beyond whatever class, circumstance, financial barrier, whatever the societal barrier is, to see each other as human is such a gift. And I love that the film is doing that in this situation.
You know,
What a beautiful
it's
message.
the reality of what the film shows, and there's aspects of it such as the culture of the police or the lack of knowledge or respect that they've developed a rather difficult reputation. They need to be reinvented to respect the humanity that they're protecting. Not just the people up on the avenues, but the folks that are on the street.
And it is our job, right, as creatives and artists and people who are telling stories to bring light to these situations and help humanize and rehumanize the people in them.
That's why I'm so delighted with what Julie's done, because it's going to find its way. ProPublica is going to do a review on it.
That's cool.
There's a number of outlets, but the one thing, and I told Julie, as the legislature is coming together here again for one of their marathon get-togethers, I want to make sure that this production is in the hands of these people.
Yeah.
Let them see the reality, because I get so fed up with all this House bill meandering and legislation and agendas, and they aren't facing the reality of the problem. They're doing political stuff that allocates lots of money, but it doesn't make any sense. It's not dealing with human beings.
Yeah, we're humans caring for humans.
Yeah.
Robin, I loved having you here talking to us, and I love your passion and all the time and energy you've dedicated to this community. So thank you for that. And I just wanted to ask you as a closing statement, just to give people who are watching maybe some resources if they're interested in getting more engaged in helping this community. Are there organizations they could go to in Salt Lake? Are there, besides just seeing the film and supporting the film and where it's going, what are some of the resources people could engage with?
Great question. Number one, people like Unshelter Utah, a structured 3-year-old organization. What they accomplish is unbelievable. Another one, Nomad Alliance. There's independent, volunteer or not-for-profits. At the same time, they have all these different shelters and things.
Okay, so No Shelter Utah?
Unsheltered Utah and Nomad Alliance are examples.
Okay.
But my concern is all these silos of organizations, of people, of political types. They've got to get it together. They've got to come together. I hope
More
Cox
cohesive.
or somebody
Sure.
grabs them and say, let's do something together. This individual stuff, it helps, but it's not getting the job done and getting the problem really resolved.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So we'll work toward getting more cohesion with all these groups.
Absolutely. The word cohesion I love. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
Absolutely. Robin, thank you. And thank you as well for this book. Are these some of your images as well?
They're all my images.
Okay.
And the poems that go along with them were written by an author, a friend of mine in Stowe, Vermont.
Wow.
Some people have read it most of the time, not entirely all the way through, because it's very emotional. This is a reality trip, and there's been quite a few comments sent my way positively about displaying what it's really all about out there.
Yeah. Well, I'm grateful to you, Robin, and grateful to Jill, who created the film, for helping bring light to something very, very important and helping us remind all of us about our humanity and our shared humanity.
We've got to get it together to make it happen. It is resolvable. I've said that 90 times, but it's very much resolvable.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Robin, for being here. Thank you for being a part of the festival as well.
I love it here. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to all of you. We're going to be meeting some more filmmakers coming up, and we hope you're enjoying these. Thank you so much.